Barry Murphy from Hermitage Green. How's it going?
Hi, Dave. I'm great, man. How are you?
Not so bad. We should start with the album.
Okay.
Good place to
Yeah,
start. Out
absolutely.
Friday, called High Generation. Ishmael and Maggie is the song that we heard. You shot the video for it in the crypt of St. Luke's with a Canadian band. It's got a folky vibe. I really like it. Is that reflective of the rest of the album?
I think for maybe a third of the album is kind of folky and acoustic, slower tempo. But then there's a few. Our new single, "Got to Give," is a little bit more of a banger. A lot of people sending us videos dancing around the kitchen to it. So yeah, I think there's a nice mix of Hermitage Green. You know, I think when you come to our live show, there's often stripped back, more acoustic, folky songs. And Ishmael is a pure drinking song. That's what I think of when I think of that. And our gigs can be parties as well. We've had many a wild night in St. Luke's in that crypt. And remind me of the name of the pub across the road.
Henchies.
Yeah. Oh, so we came out of there last year after shooting that, went over to Henchies and had an unbelievable sing song in there. So that song always reminds me of that. And yeah, so good times.
That song always reminds me of that memory that I don't have anymore.
yeah.
Lost somewhere in Henchies.
We actually ended up in the Ambassador Hotel, on top of tables in the Ambassador Hotel, and Dara and the drummer from the Trews went straight through the table, burst to the table in the Ambassador, which was comical as well. I can't wait to get back to those days. Jeez.
Yeah, oh God, yeah. Let's hope the ambassador haven't for months now been going like, what happened to that table and who do we bill?
Well, there's a lunatic that works in the Ambassador. I don't know if you've ever been up there. He's the night man who works in the Ambassador. He's the funniest man alive. I'd say he has seen things that the rest of us couldn't even dream.
Wait, hang on, they'll kill us. Isn't it the address?
How do you mean?
Has it changed? Has the Ambassador changed the address? Or had it not? Maybe by then. Maybe that was the end of the. Maybe that was the end of the Ambassador.
Is it a new hotel? The address.
Well, hang on now. I better, for all our sakes. It's up there on Military Hill, like round the corner from Henchies. Yeah. Ambassador Hotel. The address, yes. So.
Oh wow.
I don't know when you stayed there. You know, just if anyone from there is listening, going, they're calling it the old name.
I hope that old lad is still there. He's fucking comical. Sorry, my language. Jeez. It was December 2019 we were there. So
might have changed.
I can't wait.
It might have changed since then. Did he make it through to the new the address? Only time will tell.
Yeah, he was the heart and soul of the place. So hopefully.
Well, you know, and I'm fairly familiar with you guys. We've had many chats and good crack when you're in studio. Actually, I think the last time we chatted, I was out in the back studio literally the week COVID was breaking. I mean, not like that we first heard of it, but the week that it just started to... And we had such crack with the interview. I actually think that Rebecca was a bit too freaked out to post the video because it just went a bit sort of wild, and I was delighted with it. And but I think she was kind of like, no, it's too much of a mess for both you, Red FM, and Hermitage Green.
Unreal.
I think we were talking about people's shoes, and I don't know. I thought it was. I was like, put it out. That's a laugh.
I remember it was like the first week of March 2020. We were just heading off on our Australian tour. I can't remember what the hell we were talking about. I'd love to see that video now.
But you know the way sometimes it's familiarity doesn't breed contempt. Familiarity breeds a relaxation of the general rules and standards of how interviews are supposed to go. And this just
when you forget the microphone and camera.
This was giddy. This was giddy. But sorry, where I was going to go with that was I'm very familiar with you guys, but at the same time, still the Ishmael and Maggie made me focus on the harmonizing. You know, so sorry, I say that because obviously harmonizing is a big part of what you've always done, but for some reason it really came across to that. Maybe it's because the Trews were in it too. I don't know. But talk to me about that aspect of what you guys do.
Yeah, do you know what we did when we first started in the corner of a pub in Limerick, and actually our first ever gig outside of Limerick was we used to go down and play Thursday night in the Old Oak in Cork. So Cork is our second home, and back then it was acoustic instruments, and it was very much 4-part harmonies and just trying to hone in on that side of things in the blend of our vocals. Dan and I are brothers, I suppose, so we used to, like the Von Trapp family, used to sit at home and sing in our childhood together. But it was been a huge part. But then it's we did move away from it for a while when we started playing bigger shows and bringing out kind of bigger sounding songs.
Okay.
But over the last few days, we've been launching the album. We went into the market in Limerick and busked on Saturday for, I think it's the first time we've ever actually busked. Did 2 hours in there, and it was just us acoustically with a few little speakers, and we got back to honing in on those harmonies, and there's just nothing like it. I think when you can, it's something that we probably need to be, we're going to bring it out more for the live show we were talking about Saturday night. And
I think you should.
So nice. Yeah, thanks. Nice one. Yeah. So I think our first show back is the Opera House, actually, in Cork. Cool. So I'd love to. We did go by the glow of the kerosene light in the Opera House a couple of years ago. It was the first time we ever decided to do it off mic at the front of stage. We came out to a full packed Opera House. We did it acoustically, and you could hear a pin drop. But there's a moment at the end of the song that's quite emotional moment of the song, and we purposely leave 10 seconds, or maybe not 10, maybe 5 seconds of space. And I swear to God, this lad must have been coming in from the bar, dropped a tray of drinks at that exact moment, and it was just smash everywhere. You couldn't have written it. And everyone just started roaring, laughing. It probably took us a minute to start the song back up again. Well,
when I remember being at one of your gigs where you came out the front and did that whole thing. I don't know, is that a regular thing, or was that night? Because I don't remember the crash of the night.
We've done it since. When that happened, we were like, geez, we need to do this more often. And right. You know what? Something hilarious generally happens every time we do it.
Let me get the date, because I have it. Oh, sold out.
Well,
I wonder, is that on the old numbers though? Like, as in,
do you know what? It's a pain in the arse, because it's the last night before the restrictions lift. We couldn't move the gig. We moved a few others, so it's the 21st of October. The restrictions lift, so it's a 60% capacity, which is such a pain in the ass. But I was thinking we could go on at midnight and sell the last 40%. I don't know what the people would, because it's Thursday night.
Or alternate idea, come back.
Well, we have a few. We have an announcement coming in the next few days about Cork, and I won't give anything away, but it rhymes with it rhymes with St. Pukes, and Santa will be there, right?
Gotcha. Nice one. Brilliant. Glad to hear that. So High Generation is the album. High Generation is the tour. The Cork date is sold out. Whenever I was sent this, it wasn't sold out for the INEC in Killarney, which isn't too far away. Langdon's maybe in Kilkenny, or do they pronounce it Langtons? They do. Is that my eyesight? God, jeez, I'll tell you. And where are you? Glore in Clare, and the others. Well, look, if people want to visit Vicar Street, geez, it'd be great to get the Vicar Street gigs back as well, won't it?
Can't wait.
This is going to be good times. I tell you, that's the one thing about it, and there has been a little bit of anecdotal word of anything that has come back has been like over the top kind of fun. So that might be the payoff with all of what happened. Right, so we've got the album, we've got the tour, we talked Ishmael and the Trews and St. Luke's. Oh yes. So I wanted to say, the professionals. But I wanted to kind of go, was it after Dan got all of the US TV glory that you said, I'm not having that, I'm going into RT's The Professionals? See what you think of that, brother.
It's actually Taiwan. I think Dan, his biggest numbers are in Taiwan.
That was huge. Class though. That was class.
Amazing.
Oh, sorry, for anyone who doesn't know, would you explain what happened for anyone who doesn't know?
Dan went viral on TikTok for one of his beatboxing harmonica things that like we've been ignoring him for years, the four of us in the band, just going, that's just Dan. Like, I shared a room with Dan for 15 years with children, and I've used him doing weird stuff like that. So finally someone gave him the recognition that he deserves.
Finally a social media platform arrived that fitted the lunacy.
Yeah, so he got like millions of views on TikTok and etc. And he's huge in Taiwan and stuff now. So look, it all helps.
But then they brought him on US News, like some cable.
That's right.
News
Chicago show. TV. Yeah, Chicago TV had him on. And as he says himself, TikTok is the weirdest platform, because you're you have a million followers of one day, and then you post a video the next day and you might get 20 views. which is so it's easy come, easy go.
Yeah, sometimes it depends on which TikTok sort of influencers like your stuff, and that sends it and spreads it. And but even when I was watching the Chicago news thing, and they were kind of like, I think they were kind of looking, going, is he really doing that, or is he like? But I was watching it, going, is he really doing that, or is he?
It's unbelievable what he does. Like, it's ridiculous. We used to share a house here. He used to live here with me, and I'd be in bed some nights, and he'd come home, and I'd hear him in the driveway in his car on that fucking harmonica, just puffing away on it. So
is that where he got banished? Is that where he got banished? You're not doing no harmonic in the house.
Yeah.
Right. That's his thing. That's his thing. Anyone who has missed it, it's well worth a Google. But you're on RTE's and like well named Ultimate Hell Week. Jesus Christ! I saw some of the tasks.
Hang on.
I spoke with Valerie Mulcahy, so she gave me a little bit of an insight into how you guys, and how weird it was doing it in COVID, and that you couldn't even kind of hang out the night beforehand. And then you're, or maybe I heard one of the other lads talking about it somewhere else, and being thrown in the back of a van and kind of like trying to half introduce yourselves. And Jesus, it's mad. So give us what's. Oh.
Yeah. So Valerie was my my bunk bed, basically, our partner. She was sleeping next to me in the bed, so we were well acquainted. And as you can see from the first 2 episodes, she was an absolute disaster because she couldn't stop smiling and eyeballing the drill sergeants, which was resulting in us getting way more punishments, which is very funny to watch back. But man, it was crazy. Like, I had done zero preparation for this thing. I was asked to do it. No idea.
It was Peter Stringer. I heard Peter Stringer going on about it, and he benched up and was doing a whole lot ahead of it. He was like, I'm going to get in the zone ahead of this. And so here's you going, I had done no preparation.
I got onto strings like 3 days before, and you were doing this thing. What do we have to do? And asking him how many socks I needed and all that kind of crack. But look, it was the toughest thing I've ever done. But like, as the show was kind of, so many funny things happened, which was brilliant. They had a sense of humor throughout the whole thing, but it was mental. Like, the lack of sleep, the no sleep.
Yeah, no sleep. That's when you mentioned that about Valerie. I was like, I didn't think you got much sleep.
No sleep. Like 20 minutes the first night, but I didn't sleep a wink, and then you're up, and some of the tasks, 5 hour long slog through the beach down in, where is that, Barley Cove or something like that. And then I can't give much away but it just gets worse and harder. And
because it wasn't just the physical thing, it's the psychological thing where they're roaring at you and they're just like sleep deprivation, and like, it's only short of sending you to Guantanamo Bay just for an easy weekend.
That's it. Yeah, I was terrified. I forgot the cameras are there after the first few minutes, and I'm just
really,
people are going, where? I was just like, they kept calling me Mr. Grey because I was just shell shocked in the background, trying to survive, And
what was the period of time like that the filming that it all occurred? Because you kind of think maybe you watch these things and like when the cameras stop rolling, you guys are all sitting down. So this was just, was it 36 hours? Was it a week? Was it
6 days? 6 days. So 5 nights, 6 days. So you don't stop. There's no one come in and saying action. It's the DS guys are just on the ball constantly, and they're just messing with you, watching you all the time, and seeing how much pressure they can put you under, getting all your bags ready for different stuff, and then panicking over how ready you are. And then, in the water constantly, just exhausted and doing things that, a lot of people are terrified of: the water, the heights, the claustrophobia, being kidnapped, and just testing every limit you could possibly be pushed on. And yeah.
Do you know the way we live in this world of health and safety? Like, did you not read what you signed ahead of this properly? Or
yeah, to be honest, I just wanted a few days away from my kids, so I was like, yeah, sign me up, I'll do whatever.
And then you arrive home going, I thought you guys were tough. You're not.
I know. I have 2-year-old twins, Dave. So that it's pretty much hell here.
That's Ultimate Hell Week every week.
yeah. So no, look, it was an incredible experience, and with some of the best people. Like, met some unbelievable people, and a beautiful part of Cork as well, down in like
was it all shot in Cork?
All shot in Cork. Fort Davis was our base, and Spike Island, and like the Beara Peninsula. We got to see every inch of the Beara Peninsula, and
it's wild.
Oh man, down in
Yeah.
Mizzen Head, isn't it?
Well, Mizen's the other peninsula, but it's and Bear is even wilder again. Then.
Yeah. Oh, I'd never really spent a huge amount of time down there, so getting to do that in a helicopter. Where else would you find there? Where else would
I
you get
mean,
the chance
like
to
in a
do
way,
it?
like yeah, you'd like as it does look like why would anyone sign themselves up to that? But at the same time, you probably would never jump out of a helicopter from a height in the
Oh, well,
if someone
I
wasn't.
reckon like CEOs would pay thousands, hundreds of thousands to get this stuff done, to experience this. So I think we're all really, really lucky to experience it.
And was there a danger really of kind of anyone actually sort of like I don't know, like I mean, people can be fragile, like you know what I mean? Like, what if someone actually really did have a bit of a breakdown?
I, there's a point at one stage where I was going, this is like you saw the other night, Rory from Rory's Stories got very emotional. There's a point later in the week where I thought someone needed to step in with
Yeah,
there was some outpouring of, because when you're that tired and
yeah,
some people are in there, with demons maybe, and
yeah, 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 yeah.
because of the pandemic, I think we were all in very fragile places as it was, and then there's this, you end up, they force you. They're so clever. They force you into expressing your emotions and getting stuff out of you. And all of a sudden, people are having breakdowns. And I was like, "This is not. I don't think this is healthy." But I was kind of going, "Somebody needs to come in here and cut this."
Yeah.
But it's really, it helps people deal with things. I think I saw nothing but a positive side of it. Honest to God, I really did. I thought it was an incredible experience.
So
And
is there something there in like sometimes, like pushing yourself up to or beyond the limits actually ends up like maybe sometimes breaking down a little bit helps you rebuild back up better?
exactly. Well, I spoke to the head DS, Ray Goggins, a Cork guy, a great fella. After the whole show, I spoke to him at length, and I said, look, something happened to me about, a while into it, where I felt like I hit rock bottom, and then I felt like a part of my brain had almost calcified. I was starting to build myself up, and he said, "Oh, it takes about 36 hours where we break you, and it has to be really derogatory and offensive, and we get you down to you're just a number, and you're just there trying to exist, and then we start building you back up, and then by the end of it, you feel like you could do anything. You're a machine." And that's genuinely how I felt halfway through it. I was there. It's, I suppose, what they do to militarize you. If you're sending
Mm,
someone
mm,
to war, a battlefield, or to war, how do you expect them to put up with the hardest thing they could ever do, or actual life and death? Whereas we're doing, it's not life and death, but
mm.
as
But they
close as
put you
we can
through
imagine to
they
it.
put you through the
Yeah, yeah. So it's great to get that explanation after. It's kind of go, oh my God, because you feel like they're just human beings who are going to war every day. These guys, there's nothing supernatural about them, and it just shows you how much we can do or we can achieve by putting yourself into difficult situations. And I think it's a really good thing if you can manage to do it. I think it's a positive thing to do with your life if you feel like maybe you need it.
there's this crazy experiment that happened and went wrong at I don't know, Stanford University or somewhere like that. You might have heard of it, but
Yeah, I did.
it
Yeah,
was
I've read a book on it.
I think a week long thing where they jailers and I suppose inmates, and they were just people who'd signed up to do the thing, but one half were portioned the jailers and one half were portioned the inmates, and the jailers took it a little bit too far, and it was no one stepped in,
That's it.
and it's
And they let the jailers become like abusive, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah,
After a week, yeah. I mean,
and it,
obviously, we were dealing with the ultimate professionals, with the former special forces guys that we had, so there was never any fear of that. But I can totally see how it would happen. As I said, I forgot the cameras were there, man. Honest to God,
mm,
I was just became like Andrew Trimble, who's former Irish international rugby player. I co-host our podcast with him, one of my best mates. One of the reasons we did it, and they were brilliant at pairing us up together. They
mm.
kept making us do things. And he turned to me halfway through and he's there, who is this new Barry? I don't like this Barry. What's wrong?
You're scary.
Yeah, I just became a little bit uh, cocooned. I was like, I couldn't deal with talking to anyone. If I felt someone was getting weak, I was like, I can't talk to you anymore because you're going to take me down with you. that kind of
So
stuff.
it's probably too soon into the series to be able to kind of describe who ended up what, or who kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. That's why we have to watch it, I guess.
Yeah.
I was gonna finish with the podcast. Tell us about that, when it happens and where it happens and what happens in it. You talk rugby, but many other things.
Yeah, we suppose we started out as, you know, both rugby players and back in the day, and that's where we became friends. We toured with Ireland back in 2005, 2006, I think, in Argentina, and clicked with our sense of humor, I think, and our love of music and films. Andrew's a drummer, I'm a bass player. We love music, we love film, we love rugby, we love sports. We talk an awful lot of rope together. So we started as a rugby podcast, but it's everything and anything now, and we are at the moment dissecting each episode of Hell Week. So Thursday morning we'll record an episode, and we get whoever, like Anna Caplice dropped out last week. We had her on the show on Thursday morning to give her experience with us, and kind of do that every week. So it's called Potholes and Penguins is the name of the podcast. So you can check it out we're on Patreon, but we're also on all the platforms as well. So check it out this Thursday. Can't tell you who we'll have on, but we'll be dissecting the latest episode of Hell Week, which goes out Wednesday night.
Nice. There's a great freedom in this. We live in such a world of bite-sized, short, quick things like give me in 30 seconds, TikTok and blah, blah, blah. But there's now a sort of a counter, longer form thing emerging, which, like, so if I was interviewing you for just on air, I'd need to be boom, 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 boom. I can only put out 3-4 minutes, but now I can do this longer chat with you, stick it online for whoever wants to watch it.
Yeah.
And use a little bit of it on air and say, yeah, chatted to Barry, the album's out thing, they're doing the gig. If you want to watch the full thing, it's over here, and I can carry on then with the music. But this longer form thing, I'm really enjoying the different people who are getting involved in it in different ways, both journalism in terms of long form journalism, and then longer form chats around a whole range of subjects. It's probably a good thing for people to be able to have spaces and places to talk.
Yeah, I definitely think so. It's hard to get across when you've, like, an album or anything. It's hard to get across in 3 minutes what an album, what goes into an album and stuff like that. So with the podcast now, we intend to get loads of musicians on that can really, we get into their heads and find out what exactly it was that was making them tick when they wrote something. Or with the show now, with the Hell Week, we're getting to really hear the emotional side and why people would have wanted to do that, what they learned from it. And I agree. I think that a lot of people working from home now are getting to listen to more podcasts and watch more stuff longer form, which is brilliant. I do some amount of it myself, which is great. So yeah, so another positive from the pandemic.
Barry Murphy, Hermitage Green, High Generation is the album. The tour in Cork at least is sold out, but it continues across the country, and there'll be more dates. St. Puke's Christmas. Thanks for chatting.
Santa. I didn't say Christmas.
Oh yes, that's true. You said Santa.
That's the code.
Nice.
Code, yeah.
Nice. Thanks for joining us here on Red FM on Dave Max Drive. Pleasure chatting. Talk to you soon.
Cheers, buddy. Thanks a million.